morning. Today I am thankful for teachers. Both Little PC and weepc started school yesterday, and both of them had a great first day. They were very happy. They came home excited to go back today, and that's all thanks to both of their teachers and just in general the school itself that we send them to. We also had a little bit of a hiccup during pickup. I did not intend to rhyme that, but I also don't apologize for it. I was supposed to pick both of them up outside when school let out, which is unusual for our norms. We usually send them to after school care, and there's a bus that picks them up in the back of the school. When I went to pick up, I drove up, I did the routine, which there is it's chaos out there. After school pickup is absolute chaos, and it's the teachers and the staff and everybody running it. It goes very smoothly for the most part. But I pull up and I'm looking over and only Little PC's there, and Little wee PC's teacher walks over and she's like, I thought she was supposed to go to after school care. Like, no, normally yes, that's what we do, but first day we wanted to pick him up and do the whole how was your day routine and everything. And I'm like, okay, no problem, that's cool. And I take Little PC and we drive over to after school care, and we get to after school care and they're like, nope, she's not here. We were told she wasn't coming. I was like, oh no, I know, but the teacher put her on the bus, and she's not here. Okay, so I'm like, all right, maybe she's in the school somewhere. Liam, Little PC, starts to panic a little bit, and he's like, where is she at, what's going on? And I'm like, we'll figure it out. And we get in the car and he immediately goes, oh, I know where she's at. The bus doesn't usually come for a little bit, so she's in the back of the school waiting on the bus. I'm like, all right, that makes sense. And we start driving back, and I get a call from my wife, and she confirmed the teachers are like, yeah, she's here with us. The teacher put her in the bus lane, in the bus line, thinking that that's what was supposed to happen. So little hiccup, all good. No real panic. I had probably another 20 minutes before I started to panic if we got back to the school and she was not in the back, or the teacher hadn't grabbed her by that point. But the teacher was very apologetic, and the first day, and also it was weepc's first day of school. It was also her teacher's first day at this school, so everything was in chaos for her as well. So it was kind of an interesting first day of school, a lot of excitement, and weepc got some alone time with her teacher, so she's going to probably be remembered. Maybe weepc gets a little favorability, and the teacher messed up first day. Never goes bad when the teacher owes you a favor, you know what I mean? It's kindergarten, so it's not like I won't say anything about your purple cow or something. That being said, today I feel good. I feel good today. I feel really good today. So there's a couple of things that are driving that. One is that this is going to sound silly, but I'm on the last rung of my belt. Now, to be fair, this is a belt I had back when I weighed 280, so it was a big belt anyway. But through all these things the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, I have gotten to the point that I'm on the last rung and it's still loose, which is good. So already in a phase where I have to start getting some new clothes for the things that I've been doing. And on top of that, to add to that, I ran the last part of my walk this morning because I didn't feel out of breath and I didn't feel tired. Well, not so much tired, but my knees weren't bothering me, those type of things, right? I feel like my body's starting to get used to the movement and the the stress. So the frustrating thing about not having a PCL, which I kind of wrote a little mini story about when I was talking about age, the lore drop in the Back to My Day for aging, is so I don't have a PCL in my left knee, and when I walk, when I'm overweight, which I am, the pressure, right? I read this somewhere. I know I'm going to butcher this every time I say that. I read something somewhere, but I'm going to butcher this. So when you walk, there's X amount of pressure put on your knees for every X number of weight that you are over your normal body weight or something, right? There's some formula there. They talked about it. And when you run, it's 2 or 3x that number of pounds of pressure onto your knees when you run. So what I was worried about was if I was going to start running, that the pressure would bother my knee. And since I've been doing this every day, I can kind of start to feel that pressure on my knee at the beginning of the walk, and then it goes away by the end of it, because my knee's just kind of getting used to what's going on. I'm probably also favoring something, so who knows if I'm going to mess something up that way. Throw out my right hamstring or something if I keep favoring it. But I felt good enough to run the last little bit. So I went further than a mile today, and when I hit the mile, I ran the rest of it. It wasn't much, it was very small, but it's progress, right? It's 1% better, and living into kind of that overarching atomic habits mentality. That's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to get to the point where I can start to run a little bit. But again, I didn't just slightly jog, I just started to run. I think I mentioned that before. I don't have a dial that goes slowly. It's just like walk, run, and I have to figure out that middle ground when I'm doing it. But that felt good. So those two things combined, I'm in a heightened state of excitement, and there is a desire to run earlier. Maybe not tomorrow, right? Again, I don't want to push it, but I'm excited to take the next step and start getting further into that mile being more of a run than a walk. And so I'll keep up that progress, but it's going well. So there's lots and lots of progress that's hitting on this wonderful Thursday in August. And then I would also add that I listened to an Andrew Huberman podcast. So when there's time to maybe go watch a YouTube video or something, instead of going and watching a YouTube, I was looking for podcasts to listen to for things that could help me better understand ways to do more. Maybe not so much be more productive, but understand how to optimize my current level of productivity, if that makes sense. More efficient productivity. And I was going through that. Okay, Huberman, like that makes sense. I haven't listened to his podcast. I saw a couple of YouTube videos of him doing interviews around and people doing his morning routine, right? So I've seen at least 2, I think, morning routines, and I've seen interviews that people have done with him to talk about different things. So one was like a dopamine detox, and one was actually about the morning routine as well. And it was interesting. I was listening to it. It's the very first episode. At least I think it was. I tried to make it the first episode, and it's how your brain works. And he kind of goes through the different levels of perception and different levels of focus and all those things. And it was really, again, it was a very interesting episode. If you haven't, Huberman's just great to listen to. He's not only is he informative, but he gives detail in a way that's not like, he caveats at the beginning there's going to be a little bit of jargon, but his entire idea, his entire purpose is to provide essentially Stanford level information free in a way that's not needed for Stanford level minds, right? So you can kind of take that for what it's worth. And he still talks about, dopamine and epinephrine and all these things, and I'm like, if you don't explain that, I'm not going to know it. And he does. He quickly explains it in a very simple way, and I think it's very good for it would be good for a lot of people to listen to. It would be like a lot of people to listen to. But this one, he talks about going into learning and it's believed that, right, not believed, it's proven that kids can can learn 3 languages without having an accent, right, like at a young age, but as an adult, you can't, right, that neuroplasty, I believe. And he's going in that, but he's saying that, just so you know, like, that it's not just for kids. Like, you can optimize as an adult, neuroplasty, or again, whatever it is. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that wrong. It doesn't sound right in my ear, but anyway. And what he talks about is how you have your circadian rhythm, and he talks about a smaller, it started with alt, I think, or something that started with a U or an A, and that you have these 90-minute cycles that happen throughout the day, and he refers to sleep and kind of how your body goes through sleep cycles, and that's ultimately what this cycle he's talking about, this rhythm that's not circadian, and how there's this 90-minute window when you first wake up, that if you try to learn something difficult during that window, you're more likely to retain what you've been learning than doing it in other parts of the day. And then there's other things about sleep that he talks about, where you can, something about a bell, which I thought was very strange. And these research that had been completed that kind of proved these things out. So what that led me to do is, maybe I want to redo my schedule again, because I'd like to find time to work on that. If mechs are one of the main things holding me back, right, getting these Kovacs trainings and things done and beating these scores, then I need to find the right time to do them so that I'm learning them more optimally. Now, he did mention that perhaps it's not necessarily the morning for everybody, right? So you need to take note of when you feel anxious about things, just generally anxious, and that those are kind of the moments where perhaps you are more susceptible to retaining, and that's when you should try to schedule your learning moments or things like that. And I think that was very interesting, because when I get home from work, I absolutely am not in that state, and that's when I do my mech training. So I'm going to make a couple of changes and see if I can figure out, obviously I have work during the day, and I have to get ready for work and get to work in a timely manner, so I have to figure out that schedule and where that makes the most sense for me. But I also want to take note of when I feel these ways and when it's most optimal. I do know that I feel very, very productive during lunch, but I can't drive home and do mechs, right? So I have to figure something else out to do around lunchtime. Between 11 and 2 typically are things where I feel like I want to get something done, and when he brought that up, that's how I feel, and I recognized that, and I was like, that's very interesting, because I've been doing things over my lunch break for myself, and it's been very, very productive. The other thing he mentioned was that if you want to retain and have a better chance of retaining what you've learned, that you do the session and then take at least 20 minutes of basically veg out time. He called it non-sleep deep thought, I think. I have to look at it again. But essentially, get away from it, whatever. This would be like the time when I would, right? And he talks about this. When you get up in the morning, his morning routine is do something hard, and then you go take a shower, right? Take a 20-minute shower, and then that's you don't have to, you're just not doing anything active. You're not doing anything consuming. And that's exciting. That was interesting to do something again. Maybe that's what I need to do between comp games, is take 20 minutes and do something stupid, play a game like I don't know, tic-tac-toe or some shit. Who knows? Think through that. So a couple of changes I can make that I think might be able to optimize. And again, I'll caveat, listen to the episode, because I'm 90% certain that I heard something and didn't retain it appropriately. So I know that I'm going to go back and listen to it to confirm what I heard, but it was very exciting to listen to and very fun. And that's what we're going to do. That was the manifestation section of my vernal. Yes, I'm going to keep doing that, as annoying as it is. That being said, I'm going to finish my drive to work. I hope you all have a great day and good luck in your journeys.